Good day everyone, we are the Group 5 and we're going to report about the chapters 9 and 10 of the National Building Codes of the Philippines. The reporters are Arabella Bautista, Ken Cadavedo, Sheila De Felest, and Fidelisa Valdez.
So here's the content of our report. Chapter 9, Sanitation. Section 901, General Requirements. Section 902, Water Supply System. Section 903, Wastewater Disposal System. Section 904, Storm Drainage System. Section 905, Pest and Vermin Control. Section 906, Noise Pollution Control. Section 907, Pipe Materials. Chapter 10, Building Projection over Public Streets. Section 1001, General Requirements. Section 1002, Project into Alleys, Streets. Section 1003, Projection of Balconies and Appendages over Streets. Section 1004, Arcades. Section 1005, Canopies or Marquee. Section 1006, Movable Awnings or Hoods. Section 1007, Doors, Windows, and the like. And then lastly, Section 1008, which is Corner Buildings with Shufflons.
First section under Chapter 9 is General Requirements. So, from the word itself, nakasaad dito daw yung mga nire-require na dapat meron yung isang bahay. So, it requires that every building that is intended for human habitation to have first adequate and potable water supply. So, dapat meron daw malinis na tubig and sapat na tubig para sa mga taong naninirahan. Next is plumbing installation, meaning ito yung may way ng clean water na papasok sa bahay and meron ding dapat na way para sa wastewater na palabas. It could also mean na dapat merong heating and cooling system yung bahay. Next, you shall have also stormwater drainage. So, ito naman is para sa tubig ulan. Next is pest and vermin control. So, dapat rin yung bahay or yung building is protected from pest and vermin. So, ano nga ba yung ibig sabihin ng vermin? So, basically, yung vermin is yung daga, ipis, bedbugs, termites, and such organism na nakaka-disturb o nakaka-istorbo sa mga occupants. Next is dapat merong noise abatement device. So, yung purpose naman ng noise abatement device is to control the industrial noise pollution. And lastly, dapat daw it shall promote health of person occupying the premises and others living nearby. Second section under Chapter 9 is 902 Water Supply System. Under it is A. Whenever available, the potable water requirements for a building used for human habitation shall be supplied from existing municipal or city waterworks system. So, ang sinasabi dito is kapag halimbawa, magtatayo tayo ng building or ng isang bahay for human habitation, yung magiging supply daw natin ng water is dapat nakakonekta sa isang existing municipal or city waterworks system. So, example dito is yung Manila Water. So, i-connect lang natin doon yung mga pipes natin para makapag-provide sila ng safe and potable water to supply the residents ng iyong building. The quality of drinking water from meteoric, surface, or underground sources shall conform to the criteria set in the latest approved national standard for drinking water. Ang example dito is yung mga area or mga bahay na hindi directly nakakonekta sa Manila Water. Since yung Manila Water naman is nag-provide sila ng potable water. So, example dito is yung mga deep well. So, sa deep well, ang source nun is from underground. So, hindi lang basta-basta dapat kumukuha ng tubig doon. Dapat is na-test siya and dapat nakaayon siya dun sa sinasabi dito na national standard for drinking water. Next is the design, construction, and operation of deep wells for the abstraction of groundwater shall be subject to the provisions of the Water Code of the Philippines. Sinasabi dito na para maging safe and tama yung pag-construct, pag-operate, and pag-design ng mga deep well, dapat daw nakasailalim sa provision ng Water Code of the Philippines. The next one is the design, construction, and operation of a dependent waterworks system, private housing, subdivision, or industrial estates shall be governed by the existing laws relating to the local waterworks system. Dito naman, even na independent na or private na yung mga water supply system na pinapatayo nila, dapat yung design, construction, and operation pa rin nun is under or governed by the existing laws relating to the local waterworks system, since yung standards na siya and dapat ito na yung sinusunod. The last one, under the Section 902 Water Supply System, the water piping installation inside the buildings and premises shall conform to the provisions of the National Plumbing Code of the Philippines. So basically, yung sinasabi lang dito sa last na to is yung lahat daw ng piping installation sa isang building na itatayo or sa isang building na may human habitation is dapat naka-conform or naka-ayon sa provision ng National Building Code of the Philippines. And sinasabi na ang main goal lang naman ng National Building Code of the Philippines is to ensure the qualified observance of the latest provision of the plumbing and environmental law. The third section under Chapter 9 Sanitation is Section 903 Wastewater Disposal System. Clause A. Sanitary sewage from buildings and neutralized or pre-treated industrial wastewater shall be discharged directly into the nearest street sanitary sewer, main or existing municipal or sanitary sewerage system in accordance with the criteria set by the Code on the Sanitation and National Pollution Control Commission. Bale, sinasabi dito na yung sanitary sewage from buildings or mga industrial wastewater is dapat ini-discharge directly sa pinamalapit na street sanitary sewer. Pero hindi lang syempre yung sinidischarge ng basta-basta. Dapat in accordance with the criteria set by the Code on Sanitation and the National Pollution Control Commission. So first, ano ba yung Code on Sanitation? So it is said na the objective of this Code on Sanitation is the improvement of the way of the Filipinos by directing public health service towards the protection and promotion of the health of the people. So basically, yung main goal niya is paprotektahan yung Filipino citizens from dun nga sa mga harmful ng sanitary sewage or industrial waste. The next is the National Pollution Control Commission. So dito, in coordination with appropriate government agencies, shall be responsible for the enforcement of ambient air quality, emission and noise standards, including the monitoring and surveillance of air pollutants, licensing and permitting of air pollution control facilities, and the promulgation of appropriate rules and regulations. So mapapansin nyo dito yung binanggit na pollution or pollutant sa air. Since yung mga wastewater is nag-release yun ng mga toxic na nalalanghap natin. So, ito yung agency or yung commission na nagpa-prevent nun from happening. Clause B. All buildings located in areas where there are no available sanitary sewerage system shall dispose their sewage IMHOF or septic tank and subsurface absorption field. So basically, yung sinasabi dito sa Class B is lahat to ng buildings or yung mga bahay na hindi available sa kanila yung sanitary sewerage system is dapat yung waste nila is i-dispose using IMHOF or septic tank. So ano bang difference ng IMHOF at septic tank? So yung IMHOF tanks are mainly for medium population and sewage with separate solid and liquid portion. Samantalang yung septic tanks naman are for smaller population with mixed sewage waste. And yung difference nila is makikita na yung IMHOF tanks is a V-shaped anaerobic treatment chamber for waste. While yung septic tank naman is kung kadalasan lang rin nating nakikita na parang rectangle or square. Clause C. Sanitary and industrial plumbing installations inside buildings and premises shall conform to the provisions of the National Plumbing Code. So ito, self-explanatory naman na siya. Sinasabi lang na yung sanitary and industrial plumbing nga daw is dapat nakakonform dun sa provision ng National Plumbing Code. So binanggit na kanina yung National Plumbing Code of the Philippines, which is yun nga yung code para sa mga plumbing installations.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Arabella M. Bautista. I will be reporting the Section 904 of National Building Code, which is Storm Drainage System. A. Rainwater drainage shall not discharge to the sanitary sewer. So, yung mga rainwater drainage sa mga bahay natin is hindi dapat directly connected sa sanitary sewer or sa septic tank. Dahil yung rainwater is safe siyang i-discharge directly sa soil, while yung water sa sanitary sewer is need pang dumaan sa treatment facility dahil sa human waste na nakahalo dun sa water. B. Adequate provision shall be made to drain low areas in buildings and their premises. So, mahalaga na maayos yung drainage system ng isang gusali or around dun sa area para hindi mag-cause ng baha lalo na sa mabababang lugar. Section 905, Pest and Vermin Control. A. All building with hollow and or wood construction shall be provided with rat proofing. So, ayun, to prevent rat from entering our home, especially yung mga bahay na gawa sa light materials, ay dapat provided with a rat proofing or harangan ng screen yung mga entry point or mga butas na maaaring pasukan ng daga. B. Garbage bins and receptacles shall be provided with ready means for cleaning and with positive protection against entry of pests and vermin. So, dapat yung mga garbage bins and receptacles ay panatilihing malinis at may takip upang hindi pamugaran or pasukan ng mga pests and vermins. Yung mga pests is yung mga langaw and vermins naman is yung mga daga, ganun. C. Dining rooms for public use without artificial ventilation shall be properly screened. So, yung mga dining rooms na intended for public use and hindi ginagamitan ng artificial ventilation like exhaust fan ay dapat properly screened or dapat protected ng screen yung mga butas na maaaring pasukan ng pests and vermin like doors and windows. Section 906, Noise Pollution Control. Industrial establishment shall be provided with positive noise abatement devices to tone down the noise level of equipment and machineries to acceptable limits set down by the Department of Labor and the National Pollution Control Commission. So, di ba, karamihan ng mga equipment and machines na ginagamit especially sa construction and industrial establishment ay may ingay. So, para mabawasan yung ingay na produce ng mga equipment and machines kapag ginagamit is especially sa gabi, dapat may provided na noise abatement devices para hindi nakakaabala sa mga taong malapit sa area. Section 907, Pipe Materials. All pipe materials to be used in buildings shall conform to the standard specification of the Philippine Standard Council. So, di ba may different size and type ng pipe tayo na makikita o mabibili sa market na iba-iba din yung intended use and purpose nila. So, we have Philippine Standard Council to ensure na nai-implement yung mga standards and code na nakasaad sa building codes and plumbing code dito sa Philippines.
Good morning. My name is Ferdelisa Valdez, And our next topic is Chapter 10, the building projections over public streets. In here, we can see or learn the requirements of the buildings that are near a public streets. So the first one in chapter 10, we have sections 1001, the general requirements. So A, no part of any building or structures or any of its appendages should project beyond the property line of the building site except as provided in this code. The projection of any structure or appendage over a public property should be the distance measured horizontally from the property line to the outermost point of the projection. It means any structures of your building is hindi pwedeng lumagpas sa ibang gusali na hindi nasakop ng property nyo. Example, may tanim kang puno ng mangga sa bakuran. If yung sangkay or bunga nito is lumagpas sa bakuran ng kapitbahay nyo, yung part ng punong yon is magiging property o pagmamayari na nila. Same lang din pag lumagpas to sa daanan ng tao, magiging public property to. Kung hanggang saan lang yung property line nyo, dapat hanggang doon lang din yung structures ng building mo. Section 1002, Projection into alley streets. No part of any structure or its appendage shall project into any alley or street, national road or public highway except as provided in this code. Footing located at least 2.40 meters below grade along national road or public highway may project not more than 300 millimeters beyond the property line. So a public highway should not extend more than 300 millimeter and footing should at least located at 2.40 meters below the grade. Foundations may be permitted to encroach into public sidewalk areas to a width not exceeding 500 millimeters, provided that the top of the said foundation is not less than 600 millimeters below the established grade, and provided further that said projection does not obstruct any existing utility such as power, communication, gas, water, or sewer lines, unless the owner concerned should pay the corresponding entities for the rerouting of the parts of the affected utilities. You may expand the foundation into public sidewalk areas if you only follow the provision of this code, or such as the distance. It means if the top of the said foundation is at least 600 millimeters high and has a width of not more than 500 millimeters. Though the projections or the foundations is hindi dapat nakakaabala sa mga utility lines such as power, communications, gas, water, or any utilities that are mentioned in here. Section 1003, Projection of balconies and appendages over streets. The extent of any projection over an alley or street shall be uniform within a block and shall conform to the limitations set forth in Table 1003, Projection of balconies and appendages. So the clearance between the established grade of the street and or sidewalk and the lowest undersurface of any part of the balcony shall not be less than 3.00 meters. There must be a minimum of 3 meters between the lowest base of any part of the balcony and the established grade of the roadway or sidewalk. It means that a vertical distance or the clearance shall not less than 3 meters. So it is okay to put balconies in the sidewalk as long as you follow the provided distance. Section 1004, Arcades. Whenever required by existing building and zoning regulations, arcades shall be constructed on sidewalk of streets. The width of the arcade and its height shall be uniform throughout the street, provided that in no case shall an arcade be less than 3 meters above an established sidewalk grade. It is self-explanatory naman, no, that it means that the arcade must be built on street sidewalk as authorized by the current zoning and construction code or building codes, as long as an arcade is never less than 3 meters above the designated sidewalk grade. Both its width and height must be uniform along the entire street.
So, Chapter 10 talks about the projection of our public streets, and this will be tackled if the building involves canopies or if it is near a public property like streets, national road, or public highway. Section 1005, Canopies or Marquee. Definition: a canopy or marquee is a permanent roof structure above a door attached to and supported by the building and projecting over a wall or sidewalk. This includes any object or decoration attached thereto. So, meron ditong isang example ng isang canopy. B. Projection and clearance. So, projection and clearance, ito yung sukat na dapat masunod sa isang canopy kapag i-attach ito sa isang building. So, sa horizontal clearance, between outermost edge of the canopy and curb line shall not less than 300 mm. And then sa vertical clearance naman, between the pavement or ground line and the undersurface shall not less than 3.0 meters. C. Construction. It shall be constructed of incombustible materials or not less than 2R fire-resistive construction. So, ano ba yung example ng isang incombustible materials? It can be brick masonry, concrete blocks, hard backer board, calcium silicate board, cement board, metal, and certain types of glass. So, next. Location. It shall be located as not to interfere with the operation of any exterior standpipe connection or to obstruct the clear passage from stairway exits from the building or the installation or maintenance of electroliers. So, sa location, kailangan i-consider na ang pagkakabit ng isang canopy ay hindi siya makakaabala sa operation ng isang any exterior standpipe connection or di naman kaya hindi dapat ito makaabala or makaharang sa isang passage ng stairway exit sa isang building. Section 1006, Movable awnings or hoods. Definition: an awning is a movable shelter supported entirely from an exterior wall of a building and of a type which can be retracted, folded, or collapsed against the face of a supporting building. Clearance. So, ito ulit. Horizontal and vertical clearance. Sa horizontal clearance, between the awning and the curb line shall not less than 300 mm. And then sa vertical clearance naman, between the undermost surface of the awning and the pavement or ground line shall be not less than 2.40 meters. Any collapsible awnings shall be so designated that they shall not block a required exit kapag i-close or tutupiin na yung isang movable awning or hood. Section 1007, ito naman yung sa doors, windows, and light. So, except for fire exit doors, windows, and the like that is less than 2.40 meters above the pavement or ground line ng isang building, shall not project beyond the property line kapag ito ay fully open or upon opening. And lastly, Section 1008, Corner buildings with shufflan. So, public street or alley less than 3.60 meters in width shall be truncated at the corner. The face of the triangle so formed shall be at right angles to the bisector of the angle of the intersection of the street lines. If the building is arcaded, no shufflan is required, notwithstanding the width of the public street or alley less than 12.0 meters. Dito sa last section, ito yung mga buildings na madalas nasa isang corner lot. So, pagka ang isang building ay nasa isang corner lot, dapat may parang triangle shape yung pinakaharap nung building. And then yung face ng triangle na yon na nabuo ay dapat nasa right angle and right angle sa bisector ng angle nung intersection ng straight lines. So kapag ang building naman ay arcaded, hindi na nire-require yung shaftlan. And in some cases, the building official yung magdedetermine ng size and form ng shaftlan na ilalagay sa isang corner building. And that's all our topic, and thank you for listening.